Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is continuing in the High Court in Pretoria today. Proceedings were halted on Friday after one of the lawyers fell ill. Now, Meyiwa's friend Mthokozisi Thwala is under cross-examination. He's one of 7 adults present when the Bafana star was gunned down in what is believed or being called a house robbery. Let's go there. Let's take you to Moloko Moloto live. He is giving us an update in terms of what happened in court so far today. Moloko, we understand court has adjourned for lunch break, obviously. What has transpired since this morning? I saw that at some point there were issues and a break had to be taken for the defense to re-listen to some of what Mthokozisi Thwala had said. What happened there?
Hello, Masero. Well, maybe before we even start, I'm being cautioned that we actually are not supposed to be crossing to you from inside the courtroom. Of course, myself being here for the first time and my colleague Sibi, I'm just going to ask him to pan across so that we don't show the people who are that side. Sibia, if you can just try to move away from showing those people. But of course, Masero, you would understand that the whole purpose of cross-examinations is to destroy the testimony, but also to tarnish the credibility of the witness who is on the witness stand. And that's exactly what happened here with the attorney for accused number 1, Mr. Sipo, I forget his surname, who started by firing the first salvo, indicating to the witness, Mthokozisi Thwala, that I'm going to put it to you that actually there were no intruders in that house on the day Senzo Meyiwa was murdered, saying that he actually believes he's going to show to the court that otherwise Mr. Longe Thwala, who was the boyfriend to Miss Zandi Khumalo, the younger sister to Kelly Khumalo, was actually present when the shot was fired before he went out. Of course, he did not intimate or try to say that it was Longe who shot that particular shot that killed Senzo Meyiwa. However, he did say that he's going to prove that Longe Thwala was in the house and the 2 intruders, supposedly, who are part of the 5 who are on the in the dock as the accused, according to the defense lawyer, they were not in that house on that fateful night. Of course, the witness insisting that his version is that there were 2 intruders. One came in holding a gun, and the other one was having either a sharp object or a knife. Of course, the defense tried to poke holes there, insisting to say, give us the description of the gun, what type of a gun. And then he said, look, I am not able to do that. And also he will also not describe the type of the sharp object or the gun. So what he's told the court, that is Mr. Mthokozisi Thwala, was that as the intruder who was holding a gun entered the house, Mr. Longe Thwala, the boyfriend to Zandi Khumalo, managed to escape, and he left the particular house, and he was questioned as to why the intruder who was holding a gun did not try to stop Longe from leaving, and why did he not shoot? Why did he not attack him? And he said, look, I do not know, but he did say that Longe escaped the house. And he also indicated, that is Mthokozisi Thwala, that after the shot was fired, he also managed to escape. And the question was, given the fact that the kitchen, where apparently 5 or 6 people were standing, including the 2 intruders, as well as the other people who were in the house, how did he manage to escape? And he said, look, it might be small to you, but I managed to escape nonetheless. And he told the court that he went into the neighbor's house. But perhaps let's listen to Mthokozisi Thwala as he was continuing with the testimony here in the courtroom.
Now, you'll also agree with me that Longe Thwala escaping from the house from the intruders that still have other people captive in the house, gives him an opportunity to sound an alarm and seek help.
Uyavuma-ke ukuthi kule testimony sokuthi uLongwe-ke yena-ke wakwazi-ke noma wakhona-ke ukuthi aphume abeseshiya-ke ukuthi bakhona-ke abantu la ababanjiwe-ke noma abagciniwe-ke ukuthi bekuyisikhathi-ke noma ithuba lakho uLongwe lokuthi njengoba esephumele ngaphandle kokuthi acele usizo.
Yebo ngiyakuzwa ukuthi uthini kodwa-ke at the end of the day angeke ngize ngikhulumele uLongwe but ngiyayizwa lento eyishoyo.
Yes, I
ngeke ngizokhulumela uLongwe ukuthi wenzeni wangenzani. Uyena ufana azoyichazela yena la enkantolo. Mina ungangibuza ngami ngokwenzeke.
Lokho engicelayo kummeli nakuwe ngiyacela mfethu ngiyacela. I hear what you are saying, but unfortunately I cannot speak on behalf of Longwe. What you are saying I hear, yes, but that would then require Longwe to come to court and explain that.
I take that answer, it's fair.
And Moloko, it sounds to me as though the defense expected him to answer questions with regards to the actions of Longwe Thwala and what he was meant to or not meant to do, especially when he managed to escape the house. What did Thwala have to say about this line of questioning around Longwe?
Well, Mr. Mthokozisi Thwala was saying, look, because he was asked whether he's aware that the sensible thing to do if you have escaped a house where there are armed robbers, the first thing is to raise the alarm. And as you heard, he's saying, look, I would not answer for Longwe Thwala there as to whether he did raise the alarm or he did not, rather call him to come and speak for himself here. Perhaps some would say fair enough, but then the tables turned because Mr. Mthokozisi Thwala went to the neighbor's house and he told the court that he found the father of that particular house and the son, and he was asked by the defense lawyer as to what actually did he tell them, and he says, look, I can't remember some of the things that I said, but all I told them that was that we are being robbed in that particular house. And he was asked as to whether he asked this particular man he was talking to in the neighbor's house to call the police to come and assist. And he says, look, I did not do that. But as I said, importantly here, the defense would obviously want to poke holes and try to paint the witness as a witness who is not credible, who the court should not believe his testimony. Maybe let's listen to him, Mr. Mthokozisi Thwala.
Now, the point is this. When you meet the next door neighbors now, say, for example, the son that you're referring to, did you tell him, there goes one of the intruders who was chasing me and he was involved in the incident in the Khumalo household?
Uma usuhlangana-ke nomfana walana-ke umakhelwane ngabe wamtshela yini ukuthi nangu omunye wabo-ke noma omunye ababili abangena noma bebesibamba inkunzi bekade ngijaha khona manje nangu ehla ngomgwaqo?
Yebo ngakhomba ukuthi nangu ukuthi ehla ngamkhomba.
Yes, I did point out that there's someone going down. I did point out.
And did they take action in respect of what you were showing them?
Khona-ke abakwenza ngalokho obakhombisa khona.
I
wouldn't say that there's something or they took action in my presence. I can't remember.
Okay. And as you are talking to them, pointing out the second suspect that's running down the street, did you tell them, actually, there's a second one who's the gunman? When I left, you were still in the house.
Ukhona-ke nomunye yena-ke yilo bephethe isibhamu osengaphakathi endlini.
Hayi angisakhumbuli kahle kodwa ngibona angazi ngisakhumbula ngisho kanjani.
No, I can't remember well, but I don't think I did. I don't know. I can't remember.
Also, Moloko, he was also asked about alerting neighbors of the robbery that was happening inside the house. Talk to us about that part of the cross-examination.
Well, yes, indeed. He says that he went into the neighbor's house and he was asked as to how long it took him before he could return to the Khumalo's house. And I suppose the significance of that question was you escaped the house where there were intruders who were armed, and you then returned to the very same house where you left the intruders. And he says, look, I did not necessarily say I returned to the Khumalo's house immediately. I don't know where you get the sense that I said immediately, but I returned after I had Makhumalo. This, I presume, would be Kelly and Zandi Khumalo's mother shouting, crying out loud. And that's when I suppose it was evident that the late Senzo Meyiwa had been shot. And he says he returned to the Khumalo's house and he found him lying there on the floor, and he kind of like lifted his shirt to the upper chest, and he discovered that he had been shot, and he tried to put a towel there supposedly to stop the bleeding. And that's when they realized that Senzo was still gasping. That's when they rushed him to the hospital, and even along the route to the hospital, he was still gasping. Of course, at this point in time, the court is on break. It's going to resume at about 2 o'clock, and we expect that the cross-examination will continue. This is today, of course. Tomorrow and possibly for the next 2 days, the cross-examination will continue with the lawyers or counsels for the other men who are in the dock, also using the opportunity to cross-examine Mr. Mthokozisi Thwala, who is a witness for the state.
All right, and we understand that the state said that it has a list of over 100 witnesses, and this, I believe, is only accused number 4 on that list. Moloko Moloto, live for us at the High Court in Pretoria.